How's everybody doing?
Plugging along.
Plugging along. Mickey, you staying warm? I saw your post earlier.
It's so cold. It's not that cold. You know, I've lived in Canada. This is not cold, so I don't want to complain, but I still find it super cold.
I will agree. It is cold. It has been cold since I got here.
It's like the humidity or something. It just gets into you. I can't warm myself.
Jordan, I like that
That's
shirt.
the difference. That's the difference for sure. Because see, we lived in Colorado for a while, and my sister lives there, and that is not as cold there. You know, you're closer to the sun, especially up in the mountains, and then it just doesn't get that bitter cold. You don't have to, you know, normally wind chill isn't an issue there as much.
Who said they liked this shirt?
Nobody. It was somebody burped.
You better chill, bro.
There ain't
I
nobody
said it.
running around saying they like West Virginia shirts,
Yeah,
unless
man.
you're my son.
It's cold here too, so
I don't know
night-
anything about sports,
you
so
can
you're
see
fine.
me.
I gotta go into that godforsaken state on Friday.
Come see me.
I'm gonna be the other side. I'm gonna be over Morgantown
Well,
kind
that's
of area. So yeah,
way up north, 2.5 hours.
other part of the river.
Yeah. We'll be
Okay,
hating
let's
on
see.
food.
Kim, no camera. Lorraine, no camera. Brooks looking a little masculine tonight. I like it. I had to pick on Bill because the name says Brooke, but Bill's sitting there.
Well, we just got back from vacation, so we're kind of trying to catch up a little bit. So
Gotcha.
sorry about that. She's here. She's just making me food.
Ah, there you go.
She's right there. So, you know, and Florida was a little cold too. So
Yeah,
know,
the whole
not as cold as Ohio.
the whole country's been having some weird weather.
I agree.
Jane, I love it. No, there's no patients on your bed, which is good. No, you're muted. Can't hear you. You're unmuted, but I don't think your audio is connected.
Huh,
There you go. Now I can hear you.
okay. I said, everybody's healed and whole. That's why there's no patients.
Good, good. But I love the action that you took. I did watch last week's replay briefly for just a couple minutes of it when Roger ended the call. It happened to come in on my email that it was over, and I got the link for it. And I immediately saw that you took the action on what we talked about, Jane. So
Man, I've been doing a lot of action.
good. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Kim, Lorraine, I didn't hear anything back from you guys, so you must be busy, but just on.
What's
So-
Jane up to? What kind of action?
Well, one of the things is I told her branding is everything because she made a comment. We got on a call to talk about some stuff. She's like, I think this might be the only time I've ever seen you in a non-black or red shirt. And I said, well, branding's everything. Most of the time you see me, we're on some sort of training call, a podcast, something. Branding is everything. And I made the comment to her that you should have your lab jacket and the stethoscope and not a virtual background of a beach, but a virtual background of a doctor's office, since you're the business doctor.
That's pretty cool. How do you
That
do
one-
that? Anyways, I need credit cards floating around my head. How do I make that happen?
You first have to get out of the state of West Virginia. It's a black hole and nothing works there. If you could pull that off, we'll talk.
Never going to take any of it. I am
I
getting
can-
out of here. It's going to be on March 11th. I'm getting out of here for a weekend.
I can pick on Jordan, folks. Don't go sitting there saying he's a meanie. I could pick on Jordan. My son lives in that state. And he's always picking on me. So
I'm not going to bring up the Buckeyes thing right now, just because I feel like you're going through enough right now. So I'm going to.
oh, we got our rear end whooped. I'm good with it. Don't worry about it. Roger already
My
got me
mom's
on
a
that one.
huge
That's cool.
My mom's from Akron, so she loves Ohio State, and I can't
Got it.
stand them. But
All right. Well, with that said, let's go ahead and get some things kicked off. I see a couple chats came in. Let me check these. Lorraine, thank you. You're listening only tonight. Got it. And Jane, I see your message. I have not even looked at emails in probably 2 weeks, unless they were important things that Roger told me I needed to go look at. So, and that goes for anybody. If you've sent me an email in the last week and a half, 2 weeks, and I just haven't answered you, today was the first day I sat down and kind of dug into some stuff, and I really didn't get deep into a lot of it. So, and Stephen and Caroline, thanks for, by the way, I see you too. It made me think. Thanks for answering back today on that. I did not mean to send it to you that last minute. You were
No problem.
the only one in today, and I caught it about 20 minutes beforehand. So stay on after the call. We'll just I'll look at my calendar and see what's a good time
Okay.
throughout the week. Okay. So with that, we're going to go ahead and kick it off. I'm going to throw it over to Roger, and he's going to kind of dab back into a little bit that we did, or that he did last week. And then we're going to dive into a case study of somebody that is actually on the call tonight who has taken some action in the direction of some of the things that Roger talked about. I'm going to kind of show you guys what's really good about it, where there's a room for improvement piece, and then how what this individual is doing could also be done in just about any one of you guys on here in your business from a lead hook, lead magnet, that early transition of engagement into subscribe piece of it. So Roger, go ahead and take it from here for a little bit, kind of recap and go through any questions that anybody has.
Right on, right on. All right, guys. So thanks for joining us today. Once again, just want to do a quick recap of last week. There's a lot of action being taken. I know a number of our group members, big shout out to Mickey, Segol, and Jordan. I mean, they're rolling with an idea just off of that call. So I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to kind of add a little bit of value and help you guys through that process as well. I know our team's going to be involved in kind of implementing a couple of those things. So congratulations on that, guys. But I do want to kick it off with everybody's talking about weather. So you guys know I'm over here in Guam, and I was just talking to Sean, and we actually had a cold front. And for the first time, actually broke the record in 50 years, apparently. But on Saturday, it was 69. So we're freezing our booties off. But
Anybody else,
apparently in 50 years.
Anybody else want me to mute him right now?
But it was freezing.
Even diving.
See,
Must be that global warming going on.
I still have, even though he was talking, I have the ultimate control there. So just put the mute button on him for that one. Go ahead and unmute.
All right, there we go. I'm on. So anyway, all right. So we'll do a little recap, guys. See if there's any final questions before we add another piece to the layer, right? So we talked about lead magnets, how important they are. So some examples. And so let me just kind of go through a couple of those. So we knew lead magnets. Basically, the most important thing to know about lead magnets is it's something that you add to your website, a page, something that you're giving away, right? It's a giveaway, it's a service, subscription, something like that. We talked about a number of examples. It could be even like a coupon code. Once again, we have a lot of service-based clients here on this call, but there's also some product based, some coaching, things like that. So something like free coupon codes. So just hopefully that really kind of drove home some examples of what you guys can be working on and how much value those can give for someone that's visiting your website. Now, the final thing that we covered is, all right, it's great to have these lead magnets on your website and get all that work done. But at the end of the day, no one's going to know they're there unless you syndicate that information out, right? One of the main places that we talked a little bit about on where you can put this stuff at, besides, focusing on a lot of the stuff that I talk about, which is SEO and Google and getting your pages kind of out there under certain keywords, is social media. So social media is jam-packed with opportunities. One of the biggest ones, obviously, Facebook and Facebook groups would probably be the first place you want to test this out. So once you have these lead magnets on your website, you have some strong pages there, you're ready to share something, I would probably look for some related groups to your industry and basically go on there. And if they allow you, now be careful with the rules. You got to read through some of these rules, but if they do allow you, then go ahead and share some of these links back to some of these pages that have those lead magnets. So no longer are they just coming to your website and you're there trying to educate them only, or just asking for something only. You're actually giving value, and more people are more in tune to actually opt in to those forums if you give some value. So so that's basically it as well. Another kind of piece I want to throw out there that did come up during the call last week, I think it was Jacob asked this question. As we build kind of our authority, our noise around our brand, he asked if we had kind of a list of citations, which are directories, a list that you guys can go through and possibly kind of set up. So what I'm going to do, I told him I was going to put it in the group. I wanted to talk to Sean, see if there's any strategy we wanted to do, because we do have a list. So we decided that we're just going to give it away. So I'm going to be posting that after this call on the Facebook group. So if you haven't set up citations, many of you have. But if you haven't and you want a starting point, I'm going to share a couple. It's just going to be a spreadsheet. I'm going to share a couple on the Facebook group. So take a look and get those started. Basically, what those are just online profiles talking about your business. You just go there, fill them out. It allows you to put a link back to your website, and it gives you a little bit of authority or a backlink back to your website. So you can get that ball rolling with some noise out there about your brand. So today, as Sean kind of mentioned, we are going to get into the next layer, right? So you have, the theory around lead magnets, how they work, what you can do with them. But today, I think it's very important for us to show you an actual live example. And that way you can visually kind of see how this is working. We have a current client right now that's actually going through this process, and it's actually, working. So I'll go ahead and send it back to Sean here, so then we can go do this. So Sean, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead. If you're ready, I'll give you a couple minutes, but let me know when you're ready, and I'll go ahead and share this.
So before we kind of pull this up and walk through it, I'm curious, after Roger went through some of that stuff last week, and you guys are going to be getting an email probably on Wednesday of this week with the WebBuzz episode from last Wednesday night, where we got into this topic as well. Who's still struggling to just think about, what is it for my business? What is the value piece? What is the lead hook that really could work for my business? Go ahead and unmute if you've got something, and just kind of throw it out there and ask. Mickey, I see your hand. Go ahead.
Yes, my main point was that us in real estate, I guess the venues there's a lot. I could put a lead magnet like how to fix your house to sell it and things like that. But with the many locations, it felt confusing. Like, should I have one lead magnet for each location, or just one for the entire business? How do I go about?
Great question, actually. And I'll hit on that real quick. If it's location, let me backtrack actually on this. First, you need to decide what are some of the lead magnets that you feel like you can create and make happen. Then it's the matter of asking yourself, is that good for all locations that I do business? Is that good for all clients, all types that I do business with? If the answer is yes, hey, this works in all those locations, or yes, this works across all the types of people I do business with, then it's okay to just have one. And a great example of that is our free masterclass around making your website your number one marketing and sales agent, right? The number one marketing and sales team member in your business. It don't matter where you're at, doesn't matter what kind of industry you're in. What we go over in that works for everybody. So it's just one. But if I'm in real estate and all my locations I target distressed landlords, probate, and bankruptcy people. And my lead magnet is very specific to something in the bankruptcy process. Well, then I can't have that as the only one. I will need to create multiples for the different avatars. Does that make sense? But if I'm doing that in all my locations, and let's say I'm a real estate company that I'm known as the probate expert. Everything that this, Sean's real estate business does, he only focuses on probate individuals. Well, then I can come up with a lead magnet that's very general across all my locations, because it's also very specific to just the ideal person that I'm going for. So you got to start first by asking yourself, what are some of the types? And I know Roger got into some of the list. I know we got into it deeper in the WebBuzz podcast of what types work really, really well. We went over 8 of them or 10 of them in the podcast that are the kind of the go-tos for it. Now, do you have to have all 10? No, you want 1 or 2 of that list that makes sense for what you're able to create. Then you can ask that question. Does that type work? Great example would be in real estate. We see it way too often. The ebook on, hey, the 7 tips to sell your house for top value. How to sell your home quickly in today's market. Every real estate investor out there is putting that kind of information out there. Why? Because I know Roger went over this last week. You can go to PLR type platforms and buy this information, and it's already a done for you ebook that you just change and clean it up, where you all are under a RealFlow program who has the exact same one for everybody. But what if you built something out that was like the ultimate home renovation checklist to increase your home value by X%? And now it's not just 6 or 7 steps or tips, but it's a very dumbed down version of your repair estimator. And it's a guide with a checkbox on it. That same exact strategy could work for someone like Jane, who's focusing on helping you get more money in your business without paying for things, right? Without paying for ads, paying for leads, finding money. But she can make a checklist of the 5 most common reductions in business expenses that will increase your business profit by blank percent. Now, I'm almost saying the same thing, but you see where I'm giving it a twist. To your point, Mickey, let's say you want to get really dialed in. Some would call it overzealous. Really dialed in. You want to create one specific to the location. Well, guess what? It's the same thing. Just make 6, 7, 8, however many different locations you have, different versions of it, so that the title and some of the verbiage inside of whatever you create speak specific to the area. Instead of the ultimate checklist to increase your home's value by blank percent before selling it, it's the ultimate checklist to make your insert location Baltimore home.
Yes.
Right? Well, now when that person lands on that location page, and now we've got this lead magnet that's also talking to the location, it's the same one on all of them. You just created maybe a different cover, added a little extra lingo into it. It feels like it's created specific to that piece. Someone like Jane or Lisa, who's more in the coaching side of things. Vidal as well, with some of the stuff he's trying to launch, coaching side of things. You, instead of Jane saying, 5 most overlooked business expenses that are costing you blank percent of your operating cost per month. Well, the most overlooked insert the type of business. The most overlooked expenses lawyers spend money on that hurt their bottom line by blank percent. And I'm just throwing that out as an example, Jane, but I know you don't necessarily work direct with lawyers, but using whoever it is in there, now that person feels like, oh, that's what I need. Right? That's for me on it. Does that answer a little bit for you, Mickey? And kind of anybody else that kind of fell in that category?
Yes, that was very, very helpful. Thank you.
Perfect. And I'm going to get in a
And
little
I'll-
bit deeper on a few of them too when we show this example. Go ahead, Roger.
Yeah, I'll just, since we're on the real estate side, if you guys, I know we have a lot of them online, but I'll just give you 3 quick ones here that then you can take what Sean just said and kind of adjust them, right? Make your alterations to fit this. But some really popular ones that I've seen out there are, for example, like 7 proven ways to quickly sell an unwanted property, right? So that can be Baltimore, that can be any location, right? And then kind of like move it. The information inside is what kind of like us, Sean and I, are kind of pushing towards. You can get these on those PLR platforms, but if you take that information and you change it a little more localized, then when someone reads it and they actually opted in to other websites, then they're going to tell that yours is a little more localized, right? So hopefully it speaks more their language for where they're trying to do that that business. Now the other one, 7 proven ways to increase a home value. That's an easy one. That's something I can be used in every market. Now it's up to you to really kind of make the adjustments to make it a little, set yourself apart from, so your ebook sets yourself apart. And then the final one that's super, super popular is in regards to foreclosure, right? 10 fastest ways to stop foreclosure in less than 7 days, right? So I don't know, you might want to change it in less than 6 days, whatever it might be. But these are the ones you hear about, just kind of like the We Buy Houses, same thing. Now it's time to kind of take these same titles, but then adjust them to your needs or your location or whatnot. Go ahead, Sean.
And the final piece I'm going to add to this, Roger just read off 3 very, very commonly used ones in not just the real estate space, across all niches. The 7 common blah, right? The 10 things that you need, blah. These work really well for blog posts, that type of title. They work good for blog content. But put yourself in that individual's shoes. I'm stressed out. I'm trying to sell my house. I'm stressed out. I'm trying to figure out how to get more revenue in my business. I'm sleepless at night. And I stumble across the 7, the 10, the 15. All of a sudden, I'm like, God, that's going to be a lot of work. What if I just took 1 or 2 out of that? The 2 ways most people don't know that you can use to stop foreclosure. The 1 business expense that's killing your bottom line by 40%. The 1 self-sabotaging statement, I'm looking at Lisa right now, the 1 self-sabotaging statement you say that depresses you every day. When it's so simple that it's like Jordan on the credit side, the 1 thing that kills your credit instantly. Everybody will be like, holy crap, what's that 1 thing? Holy crap, what's that 2 or 3, right? Because it seems easily digestible. It also speaks to the urgency. Like, whoa, what does he know? Or what does she know? Or what does this person know that I don't know? And to Roger's point, these are the common ones that we see out there, the 7 this, the 10 that, the 5-step process to the blah, 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 blah. Well, you want to separate yourself and not sound like everybody else? Because who can tell me what is the actual purpose of this lead magnet piece?
Email.
Well, that's what we're going to get out of it. What is the purpose?
Contact information.
Engagement.
Yeah.
Engagement. Roger loves when I do this. Let's go back to dating. If I'm in a bar and I walk up to Liz, and she's sitting at the bar, and I smile at her and I wink at her, And then I just wander off. I acknowledged, right? I became aware that she existed. I acknowledged. I slightly touched that engagement line, that little wink, that smile. I was kind of engaging with her and I walked away. Now, if I come up to Liz and I smile and I wink and I say, hey, I'd like to buy you a drink. What are you drinking? And she's like, absolutely. I'm drinking Coke on ice. Staying safe tonight. And I say, great. And I get her a Coke and ice. I've done some more engagement, right? I've gotten deeper in the engagement process with her. I give her that Coke and ice and I walk away. I never
If
really
it's
got
not
further.
wine, if it's not wine, I don't know how much engagement there would be.
Well, I'm not trying to take you home just yet because, right? We're just flirting in the engagement phase here.
I know.
I'm skimming your blog posts. I'm skimming your website. I'm skimming your social profiles. Just flirting in the engagement phase. If I just give her that Coke and wander off, she's going to be like, God, what the heck was that? What's wrong with me, right? Why didn't he talk longer? Why didn't he ask me any other questions? Why didn't they pick up the phone and call me? Why didn't they opt into the stuff that I have on my website? Why didn't they reach out to my business for help? The point of the lead magnet is to get them from that engagement into the subscribe. It's the I want your phone number. It's the, hey, Liz, do you want a second drink? Hey, Liz, you want to move from the bar to that quiet table in the corner and talk a little deeper? Hey, Liz, you want to go grab a drink tomorrow night? That's what we're trying to get them to. That is the whole point of the lead magnet. So you got to think lead magnet title, lead magnet hook is nothing more than a super fun pickup line. So ladies, just go ask your guys what they did to pick you up. What line did they use? What line worked for them? What lines don't work for them? But that's how I've always looked at lead magnets, is they're just pickup lines. Now, content inside of it, that's them now subscribed. Liz and I are on a date. It's just her and I at the table. If the conversation that Liz and I are having on that date is really good and she's digging it, there'll be a second date. If the conversation's boring and I'm a weirdo and I'm bland and I don't make her smile and laugh and have fun, we're not going to have that second date, right? So this is where the content inside of that lead magnet becomes the gold. But too many people focus too hard on the content inside and put zero focus on the pickup line to get them to the date. And you guys have heard me say this one before. You can't ask somebody to marry you on date number one. It just doesn't work. So even the content in your lead magnet is never going to be all of it. It's never all your information. It's never all the process. It's never all the answers. That's what date number 2, 3, 4, aka them becoming a client of yours, them working with you, them going deeper into your process of your service with you, to have those. And at some point, they become the married individual to you, the proud prospect that became a client, that used your service, the raving fan, fell in love with you, and tells everybody about you. But it has to go through a process to get there, right? So with that, now we kind of understand the purpose, why it's there. I know Roger talked a little bit last week about like, how do we do it without screwing up too much of our SEO side? This is that fun battle. We need the pickup line, but we can't use a confusing pickup line to Google. We're not flirting with Google. We're trying to be blunt with Google. We're trying to flirt with the eyeball of the user on it. So we've got to find a blend. How do we keep some SEO around everything that we're doing on our site without screwing this up, but have a good flirt piece in there? So with that, Roger, why don't you go ahead and share. Jordan, I hope you don't mind, but we're going to use you since we just kind of went through this process. You've been sending stuff in over the last week or so on this. So as many of you guys know on the call, Jordan does credit restoration, credit repair, credit training, and then gets even deeper. He's got a deeper process where he teaches people how to really leverage and use, and that's where he ultimately wants them, where they're leveraging their credit and making money off of their credit. But he can't do it until their credit is fixed. And I think we're all smart enough to know that the majority of people don't have 700-800 credit scores. The majority of people have some pain in their credit history, right? Some issues. So his ideal client is actually somebody that needs the help. He can get them the help, build them up. Now he's created short, quick little wins, gotten them happy, gotten them excited, aka took Leah on a few dates, got her super excited. And I hope she's not sitting right next to you right now like she normally is. She's right over there. She'll probably pop her head over. But at some point you got her so excited that she said, yeah, let's move in together. Yeah, let's continue this fun ride of life, doing this thing together. In this case, it would be getting them out. Now their credit's fixed, moving them to the next piece. So we're going to show you, I'm going to walk through kind of what Jordan's got built out as of right now. Then I want to talk about where there's some room for improvement to even this. Jordan takes notes. He runs with this. He makes these adjustments. He's going to see some pieces. You guys just think of how this could also fit in with your business. So you guys can see there's a really big call to action up there at the top, right? We can help you fix your credit, free credit training. Now that's good. Could that call to action be a little stronger? Instead of we can help you fix your credit. Jordan, you're on here somewhere. I don't know where you're at.
Yep.
There you are. What's the tagline that we were using there for a little while? If they went through the credit training, they could increase their score by how many points?
50 points. Yeah.
50, right. And that was in 90 days, correct?
Right. We were doing a 90-day action plan.
Right. So could he add something like this in here? Instead of just we can help you fix your credit, maybe that piece up there could be 50-point jump in your credit score 90 days or less. If I'm struggling with credit, and I've been doing some credit research, I'm Googling some things, I find other stuff of his, and I find this type of call to action on his homepage and his blogs, these type of things, and I'm hurting for credit, I'm like, whoa, what do you mean I can jump my score in 50 points in less than 90 days? What is this? I'm going to want to click on that, right? So go ahead, Roger, click on that free credit training. So from here, it comes to a page with a video, and this is a past webinar that Jordan has done. And he took it, put it to his YouTube channel, and we have this embedded on here. So this is the free training now. This is a webinar he's done one time. Actually did it a couple different times, but this one was done that one night, recorded. And now he's got it on the site. And at any point, somebody can click on that and come to it and watch this training. And he goes over enough stuff in this training that if they took and just stopped right there, took it and ran with it, put some action into place, are they going to see 50-point jump in 90 days? Not necessarily, but are they going to see some things changing if they do what he says to do in this training? Absolutely. They're going to start to get some little wins. So again, think of this video as date number 1. They're on a date with Jordan. They're finding out, is he bland or is he fun? Is he good? Is he not? Does he know what he's talking about? Is he an idiot? And as they get through it, they realize he is fun, kind of knows what he's talking about. Not sure on the idiot part just yet. Kidding. Obviously not an idiot, because I know what you talk about in there and some of the client testimonials you bring in on it. It's like, okay, guy knows what he's talking about. He's not giving me bad information. Others are seeing success. And he talks about in the video, what's the next step from here? Well, the next step is I've got a cool little 90-day game plan for you. And it's cheap. It's $97 to get started, and it's $37 a month for me to work with you on it. And that's this next 2 sections right here where he wrote out a lot of content explaining it. AK, this is like, hey, let's go on dates number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Let's kind of date a little bit here. I'm going to stop right here for 1 second, because up to this point, everything's pretty good. But it could be a hair better. And what do I mean by a hair better? Roger, if you can go back to the homepage. When somebody clicks on that free credit training right there, you guys saw it, immediately took them to the page where the video was at. That's the free thing. This is what we call ungated content, ungated information. That video training now is no different than just going to his YouTube channel and watching it. It's no different than seeing him do it on a Facebook Live. It'd be no different than clicking on it and going and reading the blog, something like that. When we get to the subscribe stage, we're trying to date him a little bit, right? We're trying to kind of go a little more personal. I'm trying to get Liz away from the bar into the private table, and maybe to see me again tomorrow and the next night and the next night. Well, I got to get some information from Liz, like a phone number, to talk to her. I guess in today's day and age, maybe it's not a phone number. We got to like exchange Snapchat profiles or Instagram profiles. I don't know. I'll have to ask my son, like, what do you guys ask for when you're trying to go on a date? But in the case of online marketing, we want to at least get their first name and their email. And we want to keep this low threshold here. First name and email, nothing really more at this point. First name is so that we can personalize the emails and the messages that we send later. It's so that we can have a name to the face, right? A name to this prospect. We can use that name. The email, that's the way that we're going to get in touch with them initially. Again, we want it low threshold. People will give up emails left and right today. 99% of the time, it's the junk email. And I'm always okay with that. Because if the value inside the free giveaway at this point, AKA my first date, I win them over and I charm them, Liz is now going to give me her actual home phone number, her actual cell phone number. She's going to give me her real Facebook profile, her real Instagram profile, not the one she set up for all of her dating apps. And Liz, I'm just picking on you because you just happen to be in the center of my screen. So what Jordan should do here is when they click on free credit training, what he should have is a form. Now, Jordan, you used HubSpot. So what you need to do is go create a form that just asks for first name and email address. And send that embed code for that form into the team so that they can
All right, just checking. Did Sean freeze and making sure it's just not on my end? Just
Yeah, it's
Okay.
not.
All right. we actually tested this a little earlier. We'll give him just a minute because he was able to kind of reboot really quick on our last meeting. So we'll just kind of stall right here. I don't want to give. I know exactly where he's going here, but I don't want to give. You
Like,
probably have.
it's like, bro, you just gonna end right there? Where's my free tip?
Right.
So, Roger, if I want
Yes.
to recap what he was saying, so
Absolutely.
when Jordan, we click on the free credit training, it goes into the free YouTube training, right, Jordan?
Yeah, it essentially takes them to a page that has the YouTube video that I did, the webinar.
So
and
what
then
you're
it
going to add now is the form onto that, or at what
Well-
stage do they get the form?
I'm thinking what he's going to do is once you click it, there's going to be a pop-up form, and they would put their first name and email in, click submit, and then it should pop them right over to that page, that free training page. But
Okay.
at that point, at least at that point, I'll have their first name and email so I can reach out.
Okay, that's smart then. So they're getting that, they get to
And-
do that before getting the free video.
Yeah, and the second part to that too is the only way that they can purchase my services is to go through that free credit training as well. That's the checkout page as well. Any buttons that they click on that free training is going to take them to a checkout page to purchase the service. So it's almost like if they get to that free training and don't purchase, at least at that point, I'll still have their email. It'll funnel into me, and then I can reach out to them and see what
So Jordan, how long have you had this running this way?
It's been a work in progress since I got on with these guys. Actually, we came in as we were looking to just revamp our real estate website, and then kind of
Alright.
like, oh, I was
Which
doing
is
credit.
interesting to find out if that shies people off, if they have to give you that information before they get anything out of you. You know, if
Alright.
they're like, oh, I don't want to give you that yet. I need to, see a little bit of something. So
that's
Sean's
what-
back.
I'm back, and that's a great question, Liz. Because chances are,
Not easy, Jordan. I'm not that easy.
well, chances are you're not just randomly landing on his website. Chances are on the homepage. Chances are you're landing on a blog page. Chances are you're seeing something that he did on social media. You've stalked him a little bit, and you're seeing this, and at some point, enough. Right? Remember that where this falls in the journey, you've been aware of them. You've been engaging a little bit. You're aware. You've learned about them. You're engaging. You're reading blog posts. You're reading some different pillar pages and content pages on his site. You're reading some of his social posting. So
Well, what if I Googled it and his page shows up and I'm not ready because I don't trust him yet? Maybe I've looked a little bit.
that goes
I'm
to
not ready.
everything that Roger talks about. Why do we have silos? Why do we have pillar pages? Why do we have blogs written the way that we have blogs? Why do we have the information that we have on our site the way that we have it on there? So that when that person does organically just through a Google search find you, they've got the content, AKA it's you and I standing at the bar and I just walked up and you're going to small talk with me for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes before I make a comment like, hey, I'm about to get out of here, but you're kind of cool. I'd like to maybe take you out sometime, or would you like to meet up for a coffee and talk a little bit more?
Mhm.
See what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Nobody's just going to land now. If they're super motivated, they're his perfect client, they're struggling like crazy, they're doing a bunch of Google research, they get on this, they see it. Is there a small percentage of people? Yes, it's called the 1 to 3%. They're the now buyers. They're the people that are ready today. In real estate, it's the people that would actually land on your site or get your yellow letter in the mail and actually pick up the phone and call you and say, hey, I got a house to sell, I need your help. What do you do? 1 to 3%. The other 97 to 99% are going, hold on a second. I want to get to know you a little bit. To your point, I'm not that easy. Does that make sense?
I just think it'll be interesting too to have him watch that and see. I mean, is there a way, will it tell him how many people have clicked off without putting that information in because they're not ready? It doesn't mean they won't come back again, but
Absolutely.
they weren't ready.
Well, so let me put it this way. He's on HubSpot. Why do we love HubSpot? Roger and I are on a plan where every call to action on our page is built inside of HubSpot. I can tell you how many times they've been looked at, meaning how many times has somebody been on that page with that call to action on it. I also know how many times has that call to action been clicked on. In Jordan's case, he's not at that plan level. So that free credit training button, he won't know how many people are seeing it, but he will know how many people click on it. He'll know how many times the form gets viewed. So every time that button's clicked on and the form comes up, that's going to be counted as a view. So he'll be able to say, oh, form's been viewed 50 times and I've gotten 30 people to fill it in.
Don't you get that information from your web analytics, like your log files from the web server?
Roger would talk on that end, but this is why we pushed you guys and why
Okay.
we've pushed heavily on going to HubSpot, because it gives it to you right there. If you're leveraging the tool the right way, you don't need to get into all of that code and analytics and all that crap and all the crazy stuff. You get to focus on being a real estate investor like you should be.
Hey, don't call
Right.
it crap. You're going to hurt Roger's
The yeah, I think it's the ease of use.
Yes.
Stephen, in what 8 years that I've been kind of deep doing this for clients, I always push Google Analytics. We love Google Analytics, but no one touches it.
Okay.
You get in there so complex and confusing. The 1% like yourself, you're probably good in it, right? But the majority, we found that it's intimidating. So we found other tools like HubSpot. HubSpot is, you have to be in there because your CRM. Boom, you get all your analytics in there. So it's huge. The value is completely dramatically different than sending the normal entrepreneur to Google Analytics, in other words. So it's just the ease of use.
Makes sense. Thanks.
But Liz, you bring up a great point. It's a trackable metric piece. Because now the question becomes, when he's starting to look at it and goes, I've gotten 100 people to view the form and I've got 5 people to fill it out. Is my call to action right? Is the hook, the lead magnet, what I'm trying to give away, is that even right? Is it what my people want?
Well,
Right?
and it's not even that. To me, it's before, maybe I've checked his website out a little bit, but before, I want to hit that free credit training and I got to give him my stuff right away. I'm like, I might click off and be like, I'm not ready to give him my information, because then I do know what comes next after that.
Which is why most people have more than one email address. How many of you guys on this call have one email and one email only? Terry, well, you're just odd. Kim, that's crazy. Oh, you're saying you have 10. I asked how many of you guys have one and one only? Hardly anybody, right? Because
Stephen at AOL.com.
exactly. Sean.Tiberio@gmail. It's the one I use for signing up for all the crap. We know that that's what we're going to get. But I go back to, if I charm them on date number 1, aka they get in, they watch that video, aka they go in and download a document in a form, they go in and download a process, they go in and opt into an email series, because we're going to deliver it to them via email once every couple days for 5 days or something. Whatever that lead hook is, if the value in it is really good, they're going to want to take the next steps. And that's where, Roger, if you go to the next screen, in Jordan's case, it's the credit training. The actual, he working with them, giving them the blueprint, giving them the 90-day action plan, so to say. So if you scroll down a little bit, Roger, and click that call to action to say, yes, I want to do this. $97 to get started. I want to do this. It now goes to another form. And because he's using HubSpot, if he puts that first HubSpot form in there, their name and their email address is already going to be in there because the system recognizes it's there. So he's just now saying, okay, to become my client, to work with me, I also need these other 2 pieces of information from you. They hit submit on that. It's going to take them to, do you have that link, Roger? Or Jordan, do you know what the link is to your actual credit checkout page?
It's a little bit longer. I can get it for you real quick.
I don't want to have to fill out the form or have Roger fill out the form.
Send it in chat if you want. I can click on it. I'll bring it right up.
But anyway, while they do that, what would happen? They submit that form and it's going to take them directly to the actual checkout page where they can say, hey, I want that training. Hey, I want to work with you directly. Here's my credit card information, right? Now we're getting deeper into the process here. So Liz, I love where your head's at on that. I love kind of, your the challenge piece of it. I will tell you right now, we have 3 main lead magnets at TRC, and they consistently get filled out every single week.
Oh, no, and that's awesome. And I'll admit, I have more than one email, but I guess I was never smart enough to have a crap email that all the crap went to. So that's where my head is, that's where my limited thinking is right now, that I'm putting in my real one and I'm not going to. I'm not ready yet. So that's why I'm thinking that way. So if a lot of people have that, then that's good to know.
So I would challenge you to say your pickup lines aren't good enough.
Okay.
So remember,
It's been a while.
if the pick, it might be, I think it's been a while for a lot of us on this call.
Not a priority. I don't even need it. Not a priority.
If our pickup line sucks, they're probably going to say no and walk away, right? It's going to end right there. That you're kind of that person right now. You're like, I'm not quite ready for this.
I know. I'm a lot of fun though, so then that can change everything.
I might need to take you for that drink anyway. Okay. So, I mean, there's the page, and it was more just so that you guys can see it. At that point, it's like, okay. And most of these forms, they're smart forms. They're going to start to autofill themselves. If we're using HubSpot across the board, that's the other reason I love HubSpot, is the smart form element of it, so that people don't feel like they got to keep putting their same information over and over and over through the process. Okay. So Roger, go ahead and stop the share so I can actually have everybody back on one page, if you don't mind. Any other questions on that piece? And then I want to kind of dissect it and almost just kind of throw out, like, each of you guys, what you could be doing for you in your industry. But any questions on any element of that flow in that process?
My first question is, you guys talked one time about doing a HubSpot call maybe once a month. Any additional thoughts to that?
Okay, we'll come back to that question in a minute. Any questions about what I just went over? I open up the questions. You want to change the topic? Everybody's good on that? Okay. So obviously,
well, I think it's just coming up with those good pickup lines. So where's that content, or where can, what's that, just brainstorming, or do you have ideas, or what?
Absolutely. Brainstorm. And this is the area that I get super excited about. This is where that running joke between Roger and I, Roger talks to the computer, right? He's the inside secret agent of Google. And dang, I give away Wednesday's line just now. But Roger's Roger and team, they speak to robots. Sean speaks to humans. This is what I love to do. So Liz, you got ideas? Throw them in a group. Start asking away. Hey, here's what I want to give away. Here's some of the pickup lines I've come up with. Here's, AKA, here's my call to action lines. I love nothing more than getting creative with lingo and language and terminology to make it enticing for that person. Okay.
I got one
Go for it.
for this particular topic, Sean. So one of the biggest ones you can actually use if you just need a starting point, Liz, and everybody on the call, is a competitor analysis, right?
Uh-huh.
Do your competitor analysis. Go out there. Who's your competitor? Make a spreadsheet. Put all the pickup lines, or these lines that everybody's using for their lead magnets. Then you do what Sean just said. All right, now you got everything that's out there that you found interesting. Now, how can you make it yours, right? Make some adjustments. But one of the easiest things you can do is competitor analysis, because that's what's working now, especially the ones you kind of blend it with the little SEO, right? Meaning the top ranking websites, the top kind of competitors in your market that are ranking, on that first page of Google. Go check out their websites. What kind of lead magnets do they have? And then you start, that's just starting point for you.
I know, and give a shout out to Marie, because she's already done that. So yay to my partner who's done that.
Boom.
Awesome.
There you go. You already have a starting point.
Anybody else? Question?
I have a quick question.
Go for it, Jane.
So I've come up with 3 or 4 lead magnets. Is that too many for my website?
Yes. So in time, could you get to that level? 100%.
Okay.
But you want to launch one. Have one core one until you've got that kind of down. And here's why I say that. When we've got 3, 4, 5,
Mhm.
and we're trying to draw traffic to all of them, we're back to being confusing. We're not being specific. Unless that 3, 4, 5 is, to Mickey's point earlier, each one has a very specific either location or audience. Now we can blend it. But if all 3, 4, 5 of those are kind of across the board, everybody I do business with, it could benefit all of them. It becomes a little too confusing out of the gate. Okay. So you want to get one out, really focus on getting people eyeballs on it. Then once you have a good rhythm with that, now you can start finding, where can I introduce this second piece? Maybe in our case, we have the masterclass as our main thing, right? That main training around making your website the number one sales and marketing agent in your business. Well, how do you supplement that? What are some of the steps in the process of doing that? Well, you got to understand your avatar. So we created an avatar worksheet. Quick little download of a worksheet that they can download and use. Well, The other side of making your website so strong and powerful is, to Roger's favorite area of this, is the silos. So we created that silo worksheet that everybody, our clients, you guys have all had access to this at times, but we made that into an opt-in to download that, because it supplements what we're going over in the training. Okay. So I would pick one of them that's kind of your core, really work on that one, get it going, make sure that that's the go-to, get clear across every bit of information that you put out there so that you're not confusing. Slowly add some others in. So a couple things that are really, really powerful for just about everybody on this call. Obviously, things like checklists. We've kind of hit this one a little bit earlier. A checklist of some sort is really good. And again, I love keeping it short. A checklist of the 1, the 2, the 3 things. Those are great. They're not always the most powerful lead magnet, right? Video is my all-time favorite. It's why I've pushed Jordan. I've been working with Jordan a little bit more one-on-one for some stuff that he got into with us back in the summer, which is what stemmed with what all he's got here. It's why I pushed him to do the videos. Now, he did those as live webinars. I think that one that's on that site now, Jordan, is what, the third one that you did? Is what we actually kept the recording and used?
I think that was the second one, actually.
Second or third?
Yeah, it was a live webinar, second or third one. You're right. Yeah.
But he's done a couple of them live before we actually just stuck it as a permanent, here's the replay. Why? And really, I want him to do it one more time. He's just been being lazy on me.
Busy, not lazy.
But I've been pushing him to do it one more time because I felt like he was almost there with everything on those ones before it becomes the solid one that stays. But this is why I love videos, because you can do it once, twice, 3 times, you get it right where you want it at, you're really happy with it. And then now it's evergreen. It's there, right? The other element to that is it gives people a chance to get to know you, get to feel you out, get to hear you. So I love videos. I love, you guys can literally just sit down, go, Zoom's free. Get your own free Zoom account if you don't already have one. Record yourself, share your screens if you want to do a screen walkthrough of something. Real estate folks, you could literally like do a video of you breaking down a lead that you went through. Show the pictures of the house, show the things that are wrong with the house, show why the house won't sell at top market value. Here's why. Show what needs to be updated. Show after pictures of other projects that you or your competitors have done, if you haven't done a project yet, to show what it will look like and why it costs what it's going to cost. Literally walk them through that process of what needs to go on. Remember, the point of this is to get them to a second, third, fourth, fifth date. We're not trying to give them all the answers right there. So it's okay to kind of almost overwhelm a little bit to where they feel like they need to talk to you a little bit more to understand it. They need to talk to you a little bit more to get some questions answered. So it's why I love videos on that piece of it. Ebooks are good. They're kind of been overused. They're quick. If you're looking to just launch one really quick, ebooks are really, really easy to put together and put out there. Cheat sheets is another really, really good one. Roger and I, the silo sheet is a cheat sheet. The avatar worksheet's a cheat sheet. The citation sheet that he's going to share with you guys, that we could turn that into a lead magnet in a matter of a couple hours if we wanted to. It's what, 10 places, I think, Roger? Like 10 quick places they can go and create citations?
Yeah. And we've done it in the past, right? That was actually part of a lead magnet that we did in the past. We just happened to have it.
Yep. So cheat sheets like that are really good. In the real estate side, maybe it's a cheat sheet on, maybe they want to try to rehab their own house. Maybe you make a cheat sheet on like the 10 things or the most common upgrades a kitchen and bathroom needs. Just straight up tell them what it is. Jane, tell them in that cheat sheet, like, how do you, whatever, reduce expenses? How do you find the gap in this section? Quick cheat sheet on that side. Lisa, check cheat sheet on how to shut down and kill your limiting beliefs. You know, how to kill one. By all, cheat sheet, how to learn 3 chords in a matter of a weekend.
Hey, I have a question for you, Sean. I have a rehab cheat sheet, like 7 steps to also awesome rehab, or I forget. I got to look at it again and see what it's called. But would you use that one as like the free lead magnet, or would you use the masterclass as a free lead magnet and give that for free?
You can go a couple ways. I would test it. You could encourage, like, hey, you opt in to watch the masterclass, I'm going to send you this free cheat sheet as well. Test that out for a little while. You could do the, hey, I just got this free cheat sheet. Opt into it. And when they opt into it, all of a sudden you say, hey, I also got this masterclass over here. You want to go check that out? And play that angle on it.
Try
couple
it.
ways. Couple ways that you can play it. And again, it's all test and measure.
Okay.
I went to the bar tonight. I looked at Liz and I tried this line. Didn't work. Came back the next night. Liz was there. I tried this line. Well, that one worked. Okay.
Vidal's doing more of the real estate coaching side, correct? Is that why you're giving those tips there?
Correct.
Yeah.
But and his cheat sheet could be more geared to the rehab in the rehab investor. But you as the rehab investor in Charleston, West Virginia area, maybe it's the cheat sheet of the 3 things that every house in this area has to get top value.
Well, you just mentioned doing some video walkthroughs and then the deal analysis and then the after video. And that kind of gave me a good idea. We've got a project that we're going to have to do a pretty heavy reno on, and it's going to be a rental for us. So how can I use that as more of a lead magnet for other sellers?
So you've got that getting ready to get started?
Yeah. Like,
okay. One idea that comes to mind is they could opt in to get weekly updates direct to their inbox about the process. And those that opt in 3/4 of the way through, they're just going to be able to get all the updates, right? All the past updates until you get it
well, that's
done.
a good idea too, because it's going to be a rental property. So, hey, watch our progress on this rental property.
Yep.
For people that are looking to rent in the springtime.
Absolutely. Then once you're done with it, and you've got all those videos, then you can really easily just take all those videos, chop them all up, and turn it into just one 35 or 40-minute video that hurries up and goes through the whole entire process on it. Real estate investors trying to raise money. That's a great way to do it right there.
That's exactly what I was thinking just now.
Where you're using some of that in your little raising of money early on talk, right? We're not talking about the actual process yet, but we're trying to get the person with money to build a little relationship with us. Now they get to see our process. They get to see how we work. Cool. Roger, anything you want to add in here?
Yeah, I guess the only last tip that I have as we're going through these final examples were, especially for Jordan, that's going to be kind of doing some filming with an active rehab. I know Mickey did some really good ones that had some excellent response where she's showing kind of like, if I remember correctly, it was one about like a retaining wall or something like that, what to look for. You're going to have a lot of opportunities on this project to do like mini little videos that might not fit into a certain lead magnet, but they might fit into your YouTube channel on how-tos, right? So you can have a lot of those how-to videos. Now, forget about the website for a little bit. You're going to have YouTube out there where you're putting education on how to do something when you're going through a rehab. Well, in the description of the YouTube video, you have an opportunity to put a backlink, and it could be a backlink to a lead magnet. So don't just kind of focus on the website itself, but all your assets that you have around your brand that you can guide people back to a piece of value like a lead magnet. So just wanted to kind of put that out there because as you were talking, I'm like, well, you're going to be filming quite a bit. Take advantage of it, right? You can fill your YouTube channel with some good how-to videos. And those how-to videos can be the starting point, the top of the funnel, right? That then you can kind of guide them back to that lead magnet that you create.
Another one on the real estate side of things, Jane, it works even on your end. Lisa works on your end. Vidal could work on your personal brand side as well. I don't see some of our other personal brands on here. I do a lot of woodworking. It's kind of a little side fun hobby that I do. And I follow a number of different people on YouTube and social media and different stuff with different projects they do. And they're always giving away free plans. I follow them mainly for some of the shop setups, things that they've built in their shop to make their shop more functional, things to make their jigs and their tools better, better jigs, these type of things. And they're always saying in their videos that they've got the free plans over on their website. Go check it out, go get it, go download the free plan. Well, it's not about getting the free plan. They want me to opt in because then they have products that they sell, or they have affiliate programs that they want to drive you to get certain products through those affiliates. And they want my email. I know that on it. But on the real estate side, give away a free plan. Maybe take one of your bathrooms or your kitchens and build out the actual pieces of what's in there, almost like a scope of work where somebody could download and get it. And I know what some of you are going to say, yeah, but then the homeowner is going to go do their own work. Why would they sell their house to me? No, the idea is I get that plan and I go, dang, I don't know if I can build that. I don't know if I got all the tools. I don't know if I have all the resources. I don't know if I understand how to take care of all of that. This is exactly why I should call them. This is exactly why I should go buy AKA their other products.
So Sean, I just did a how-to video, how to renovate your kitchen on a small budget.
Mhm.
And, but it was in its sense of a blog where I go through step by step. And then at the end of the blog, I'll list all of the material that we use, including all of the Amazon, light fixtures and
So-
all that we bought and all.
Perfect, except for them to access that part of it, they should have to opt in.
Okay, so
The blog
this is on,
The blog gives them the step-by-step,
yes,
and then you have a call to action that says, do you want the Amazon product list? Do you want the whatever you had in that piece? Click here. They click on that, boom, name, email, and then you'll send them that list.
And then, so with the Amazon piece, though, whenever anyone, if you have your affiliate account set up, whenever anyone buys anything from Amazon that day, if they clicked your link just to look at the product, anything they buy that day, you get credit for.
Right.
So how would you work that if they have to opt in first before they even get that list?
They're not going to see the list until they opt in.
Okay.
I'm telling you, right now she's saying she has it in the blog. That shouldn't
Yes.
just be free information right there. That's the value. Hey, I just read this blog. That blog should also be a video, aka on your.
it is
YouTube
a
channel.
video. It's
Okay.
actually a video where I say, go check my website, and then on the description, it has the embedded link that goes into the blog, right?
Yep.
But I'm missing that opt-in phase.
That's a lead magnet right there. Hey, I did this, how to renovate your kitchen on a short budget, on a, whatever, on $100 budget. They watch the video, they love it. And you're like, oh, I've got the list of everything that we used in here, where we got it at, all the direct links to Amazon and everything over on our website. They go to your website and they see a little bit of information in the blog. And it's like, here, you want the list sent directly to your email? Give me your name and email right here. And you send them over the list.
Okay,
Make sense?
it does. Just that I don't know how to do that.
Well, I do believe you're part of a different group and a different challenge.
Yes, I am.
That's on the business discussion right there. I think it was Jane that asked, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever the case is. Eventually, it's okay to have unlimited. We're really big with HubSpot. I'm subscribed to a lot of different HubSpot emails. I get emails basically every week. Well, just about every blog post that HubSpot puts out has a call to action with an opt-in to download some free resource. There's a lead magnet to every blog that they put out. Now, they've got hundreds of different clients writing blogs for their account. That's why they're able to do that at that scale. Am I saying every one of your blogs needs to have an opt-in? No. But in that case that Mickey just used, if you're creating
All right, just checking again. I think he froze again. Is that okay? So Mickey, I'm going to actually recap on yours. I was waiting for Sean to finish, so we'll wait for him to unfreeze. But while he does that, in regards to your YouTube video, you kind of created everything, right? So that was actually a good one because you created everything. And you can actually go back, now that you have this information, you can go back to that blog post and just look at it this way. You're literally cutting the conversation or the blog post, not in half, but where you think the value starts, like a new big set of value, and you end there. And that way you can rewrite the ending there. And it's like, hey, if you want the rest of this stuff, opt in here, and we can create a form for you or an opt-in. And then that would be the lead magnet, right? The hidden, what we call gated content. So I don't know if I was kind of listening. I don't know if you got that. It's like, you can literally take your existing content and just look at what piece is the most valuable, take it off of the blog post, and just end your blog post basically with a call to action to get that information.
I'm so glad I asked the question because I was going to send it tomorrow. I was like, I'm done. Everything is done. But yes.
I was looking on your website and I couldn't find it. I was wondering where it was. I wanted to see it.
I was going to send it. Okay.
All right, cool. Go ahead, Sean. We're just kind of recapping there since you froze.
Yeah. Now another plug for HubSpot. Why do I recommend it? Why do I love it? Why do I want as many of you guys on it as possible? And why would I love to train many of you guys? This becomes so easy with creating these forms really fast and being able to kick the email over and set this process up. It is so simple when you have all the control right at your fingertips for these type of pieces of it. So Mickey could just send it over and say, here's the blog, here's the call to action, here's the embed code for the form. And everything else is built out on the back end. She's got complete control of it on her side to continue to market to those leads and handle everything from there. So those that are on HubSpot, as you guys start to think about this is why you should kind of reach out and say, hey, let's figure out, how do I use this resource? How do I use this tool more to my advantage? Okay. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I know a couple of you guys have been sending me some private chats in here too, saying that you've got other things you got to jump to do. I saw Lisa's as well in there. So action item that I would kind of leave you guys with tonight is kind of finish up this piece and really start to think, what's it going to be? What are we? This is that big element now. A lot of you guys have been doing a lot of work to what Roger's talked about, which really helps that awareness and engagement phase, getting you to show up, moving up the rankings, getting the good content on there, pleasing Google a little bit. This element helps that conversion, helps getting people to convert from just staring at you to actually wanting to go on a date with you. We got to get them to date us before we can get them to marry us. Okay. So with that, some of you guys I got calls with later this week. We can talk even deeper than this on some of those calls. Some of you guys are part of the 6-month challenge. You took all the steps, you went through that process. By all means, throw those questions in that group, ask away. I will be getting back in there this week as I get myself back into the swing of things. And you always got support here waiting to help you out. If you got stuff you want to tweak, update, change on the site, send it in so that the support team, Nimitz, all of them over there, they can help you guys get that stuff implemented for you. Sound good?
For your 6-month challenge, you're taking calls this week or starting back up next week?
Anybody that's been on the schedule after today should be good. Okay. if you book for next week, you'll be good. I'll be back to LA by then. Okay. But I did look at the calendar earlier this week, and I don't think there was any other conflicts. Stephen and Carolyn were the only one today. There was a little bit of a conflict with some stuff we had going.
So what's the homework again?
Work your
Free
business.
offers.
Work your business. If you need to get that free offer in there, if this is that element, get it in there. Okay. All right. Well, with that said, hope everybody has a wonderful evening. For everybody that kind of reached out and said sorry and condolences, and just everybody basically on this call was somebody that's said it. I really appreciate it. It was a little bit of a stressful week last week, but we made it through, and I really appreciate you guys being a little flexible. I know a couple of you on here have had to rearrange some things or cancel things last minute. I appreciate the flexibility on all of that. So we will see you guys next week or throughout the week. One of the two.
Thanks, Sean. We'll see you tomorrow. We're talking
All
tomorrow.
right.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Roger, Sean.
Bye. Thank
See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye, you guys.